and what was left of the river. That was entertaining.
Oh, yeah, that's very
I'm
entertaining.
just glad he kept his underwear on. That was a plus.
That's very
And
considerate.
I got a good glimpse at those underwear, and I don't think he should have kept them on. He should have
No.
just gone with it. It's like, dude, you need to throw those away. I've seen
Yeah.
tarps that look better. All right. Welcome to our second episode, I guess, of our podcast here on World According to Briggs. It's known as Stories from America. In case you missed the first episode, which we had Nick Johnson, I guess I could say the first video episode. I've had a couple other, about 8 other episodes that were just audio and they were up on Spotify. Haven't jumped back on that yet, but we're doing the video version on this channel. It's a story and it's a podcast where we talk to people that I usually meet in my travels, or in this case, people I've met on YouTube, and in the future, just people I've met on different travels that I've done, on different adventures, on different trips I've taken. I've always felt that some of the best stories you'll ever hear are from the people themselves. Not really in books, not in Hollywood. I mean, I love a good biography. I think those are far more exciting than any fantasy or any, romantic comedy that's made up. I think people have the best stories, and that's why I want to do this. These are people that live in the United States, travel the United States, and that's who we're going to be talking to on this. Today's guest is a van life girl that I started watching her channel a little over a year ago. We've conversed back and forth a few different times, and I guess we're YouTube friends at this point. And she's got a really unique channel. She's a young girl, under 30, I'm sure. Well, I think she's about 25 or 26. And she basically travels the country in her van by herself, which, when I was 25 or 26, I was traveling, but I wasn't just traveling in my van. I find her channel and her videos very interesting. So I thought we would talk to her. Our guest today is Alyssa Vanilla. Let's take a look.
Well, that was a dumb idea. Good morning from Walmart. I guess you can't really see.
Alyssa, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Briggs?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you not on the road. I know that's how you like to live and all that stuff, but it is good to see you with a solid roof over your head for a change.
Well, thank you. I'll take it.
So you're at your parents' house in the San Antonio area. So it's good that you can go there and visit while your van's getting fixed. If you guys have never watched Alyssa here, she is a van lifer, and she's been doing it roughly for about 3-4 years now.
About 3 years, yeah.
About 3 years, yeah. About 3 years. I clued into you about maybe a little over a year ago, and you had already been in Stevie Ray van. If you haven't watched her, she names all her vehicles. I don't know what's the new name for the new vehicle, by the way.
I decided I'm probably not going to name it because naming my old van made it too personal. It was like a pet to me, and so when it just spontaneously died, it just hurt my feelings.
It was emotional. I can see that.
All right.
What was that? A red Safari, or what was that?
Yep, it was a red
GMC. Was it GMC Safari? Whatever.
It's the same thing as the Astro van.
Yeah. My parents had an Astro van back in the day, like one of the original ones, where it was kind of looked more like a dart than anything else like that. It was weird. But yeah, so you do the van life, you travel all over the country. For the most part, it seems like you stay in the Arizona Quartzsite area during the winter months, right?
Yeah, last year I did, and it was a nice time. Hoping to explore a little bit more of the country this winter, now that I have a new van that's not older than I am.
A little more reliable.
Reliable, yeah. So we'll just see. But yeah, last year I spent it almost the majority of the winter in Arizona.
Yeah, that's good. I find it amazing that when you're living in Quartzsite, especially, there's this little community, and it seems everyone seems to know each other, and seems like you've made a lot of friends that are at a minimum twice your age in most cases. So are you like the youngest person living in that area? So one thing I should mention, which we didn't really cover in this conversation we had, is Quartzsite is in Arizona, and it's on BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management, and you could stay there for almost free, I think free, and just camp there. And they have like 7 months a year you could do it. And so a lot of retirees that are living the van life or living in their motorhome, they'll go there and just live extremely cheap for the winter. That's what Alyssa does.
Yeah, people are usually more than double my age. I don't think there was anybody that was like in their 50s.
I think it's all retirees.
I think it's all retirees. I mean, most people my age can't just hang out in the desert all
months at a time.
So all my friends were like 60. I made a video about like something called Why I Only Hang Out with 60-year-olds or something like that. Just because that's all that was out there. But they make the best company. I had a great time.
Yeah, it seems like it's a nice relaxed life. I just don't I don't know how you fill up your whole day though. That's it's
yeah, totally. A lot of campfires, a lot of just like walking from one encampment to the next, just visiting,
saying hi.
Yeah, but that's what's cool about old people is like nobody grew up with cell phones or anything, so nobody's really on their phone. Everybody just actually likes to talk to each other face to face, which like it's kind of rare nowadays. So I just got to like physically speak to real people all day. It was cool.
I'll tell you what, I've always been that type. Even when I was younger, I talked to people, and as years go by, I'm starting to realize more and more people have lost the ability to have a conversation with people. And it's not just an old person thing. I'm actually starting to see it more and more and more every year. Younger people have a harder time communicating, and you say something to them, and they're like,
worst at it. Oh yeah, older people are really good at having real conversations. Young people are not good at it at all, because we have the majority of our conversations on our phones, and we grew up with.
Yeah, and it's like I guess it's anything. TV came along and not as many people read books, and
for sure.
Phones came along and not as many people actually had conversations. I mean, we don't even go to bars anymore to meet the opposite sex, or the same sex. I'm not judging anyone. But, it's like that's when, I'm 50 something, and God, what am I? 57, 56, 57. Anyway, I'm something in my 50s. Anyway, so it's weird because it doesn't seem too long ago. That's where you went to meet people. You met people at work, or you went to some kind of bar or some kind of function to actually meet people. Now you just order up a date on an app, like you're getting a cheeseburger or something like that. It's
me.
It's
I met
really
my
strange.
last couple people that I dated on apps.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't even know. I maybe met people in college, but that's like the last real place where you meet other people face to face. Other than that, I don't know how people make friends.
I think it's really
aside from
hard.
The internet. Yeah.
I grew up at the beach, and that's, I mean, if it wasn't school and it wasn't work, that's where we met people and met girls or guys, whatever, at the beach. And
sure.
It's definitely different. And it's funny how you hang out with them and these older people, and you're fitting right in from everything I can see. Granted, it's edited and stuff like that, but you're fitting right in with them. It's like they're not trying to shoo you away because you're some young girl.
Yeah, I think I try not to say stuff like age is just a number, because that quote can be really misused. But I do feel like I kind of do have an old soul. I do prefer to talk to people in person. I don't like texting. I don't like messaging. I don't really like even being on my phone, aside from when I have to create the videos for my channel. And unfortunately, I feel like being a YouTuber, you just have to be on social media, especially nowadays. You have to be on multiple forms of social media.
You have to be on every form of them.
Every platform. I cannot for the life of me get myself addicted to TikTok like everyone else. I try so hard, but I can't do it. But that's
I just recently kind of got into that a little bit.
Oh yeah, you should make TikToks. Your content would do so well on TikTok.
Well, I've been using I've been using Opus, whatever it's called, and they that chops up my videos for me. So they're not perfectly made.
Wait, what is this, an app or something?
Yeah, it's called Opus.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Opus.pro. I could just take my what do you call? Hold on 1 second. I've had a cold all week.
Oh no! And you're going on vacation tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm getting better, thank God. I got over it, but it's one of those ones. I think it might have been the COVID, because when you get that, have you had that yet? COVID?
I had COVID like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I'm like on my 5th time, but for me, I would just sweat at night, and it was rough, and so I'm sure I lost 10 pounds of just water weight alone over the course of that thing this time. But yeah, we're all better now, right for the cruise. But anyway,
good.
Where were we? Oh, Opus. Opus, you just
Yeah,
chop
yeah.
up your videos and they break them down into 60 or 45-second clips, and you can just download it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
simple.
I need to get that
You,
Opus.
Opus, yeah, it's opus.pro. But you have to be on all the social medias nowadays, and it kind of sucks. It's like I used to
Yeah.
be into Twitter. Now I can't. That's just a cesspool of anger
Oh
and
my
hate.
gosh.
I
I
can't
know.
stand it.
I recently deleted the app off my phone. I still have the account, but because Twitter used to be just a funny place to kind of like see funny videos and make funny comments, and now it's like people's takes are so insane
Yeah, it's
and
it's turned
negative.
too
Just very
political.
negative. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just people filled with hate there. Years ago, I was all into Facebook, and it was, I think, during the 2016 election,
Hmm.
maybe even the 2020 election, somewhere in there. I quit using Facebook. Yeah, I do occasionally now, and I've gone back, and not as many people are talking about politics. Maybe I've just blocked so many of my friends that talk about politics. It's gotten better, but
Hmm.
it chased me off of the thing, and I don't use it. It's like I can't stand this. It's horrible.
Yeah, I haven't used Facebook since like high school, 2015 for me, but I don't even try.
Yeah, how long ago was that? High school for you? Like 10 years ago?
I graduated high school in 2015, so
2015.
yeah.
2015. Man,
Hmm.
that's just like a couple weeks ago, it seems like to me.
That's like a
It
lifetime
does.
ago for
You
me.
want to know what year I graduated high school?
Yeah.
It's going to scare you. 1985.
Oh wow, what a great year.
Oh, it was. It was. It's like I've told people, it was a great time to be in high school. This is the truth. When I was in high school in the beginning, we only thought you can get AIDS if you were gay. Honestly, that was the
Mhm.
mindset. We
Yeah,
didn't
100%.
understand it. And
Yeah.
everyone was doing cocaine. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it
The
probably
80s.
wasn't like laced with fentanyl back then.
No,
So
no, not that. No, it was actually enjoyable, not dangerous. I mean, it was dangerous if you went at it for like a month straight, but yeah. Um, the good old days of high school then. I mean, I think the only other time high school was probably a little bit funner was the 1960s where it was just nobody cared.
yeah, like 60s, 70s. Have you seen Dazed and Confused?
Yeah, yeah.
Like one of
70s
my
looks like
favorite movies. Like, oh yeah, that just looks like best time to be in high school.
when I came into high school, I was, I listened to punk rock, LA punk rock, and all that stuff. And me and my friends listened to
Mhm.
that stuff. And the classes before us were still into that, listening to Foreigner and Pink Floyd and all that. And
Mhm.
they looked like Dazed and Confused. And I was the exact opposite. I came in there with shaved head, and at one point I had a mohawk. It was so I was just as it was changing, and there's all
Yeah.
those people, and some of them I still see on Facebook, and they're still rocking that mustache and the mullet type hairstyle they had in the 70s. Like, dude,
Good for them,
let it
man.
go. Let it go. I know
No,
it's
never let it
gone
go.
and it's come back 3 times and
I
they've
was about
never
to
cut their
say,
hair once.
yeah, yeah, it comes
It's so
back all the
weird.
time.
But yeah, that's and so you went to high school in Texas?
Yeah, partially in Japan, and
Oh,
then
Japan.
my parents got stationed in Texas again.
Ah. Well, that's the good thing about the Air Force. You get to go to cool places to be stationed. It's like you get the Army, you get I spent all my time in Central America, it seems like, but you get Central America, you get Korea,
Oh,
or you get Germany. That's about it. My son got France, though. That was cool. Or Italy, I'm
wow,
sorry.
that's
What?
yeah, that's awesome. We didn't really get any cool places besides Japan, and even in Japan, we were in the smallest little countryside town of Japan where it snowed pretty much all year
Oh, you're
round.
like
We always got the shittiest bases.
the shittiest bases. That's in the
Yeah.
Army, that's Louisiana. You go to Fort Polk, and it's just like as soon as they tell you Fort Polk, it's like, oh God, no.
Oh,
Um,
I think I would like Louisiana, but for the Air Force, it's like Minot, North Dakota is one of the worst ones.
yeah,
Or we were stationed Clovis, New Mexico. There's nothing out there. It smells like cow poop all the time. Places
yeah,
like
that'll
that.
do it out there.
Yeah.
So when you do your traveling in your van, where's your favorite place to be so far? I mean, you're going all over the place. Where do you like to be the most?
Northern California,
Northern
100%.
California?
Northern California, like on the border of Oregon. So, because apparently I'm not from California, but when I say NorCal, people are like, oh, like right above the Bay Area. I'm like, no, not
Yeah.
even like literally the Redwoods.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my favorite place in the entire world.
Well, see, that's the forgotten coast. That's the lost coast, they've called it, because nobody
That's why I
lives up
love it.
there.
There's nobody there.
No.
It's so amazing and it's so beautiful. It's like unparalleled beauty.
Oh yeah, and then
It's as beautiful as Washington, Oregon, but nobody's there.
yeah, and what's cool about that area is especially if you're in the coast, it's always got that fog rolling in, and it just seems kind of
Always.
nice. And it's never too terribly hot,
Never.
and you only get a month or two when it's really really cold, and
Mhm.
it's nothing like Minnesota cold ever.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
yeah,
just rain, just like PNW weather, just rainy season. But it's really nice, and I don't know if you know, but they have an airport there, and the airport there, because you mentioned the fogginess, it was actually first a military base where they would train pilots during World War II to be able to land in really dense fog,
oh
because
wow.
it's always really foggy there on that coast. So yeah, just
Which airport is that? Like Eureka or something like that?
yeah, I think it's called the Arcata Airport, but it's
Oh,
in
okay, yeah,
McKinleyville. It's like
Arcata or something like that.
yeah, Arcata, and
Arcade Arcata.
it's in McKinleyville. So Humboldt is just this big area. Used to be
Yeah,
the Emerald Triangle where they grew a bunch of weed, but yeah,
that
just
Arcada or Carta, whatever it is. I think I mispronounced that when I did a video early on. And that's when I
yeah,
realized if I mispronounce things, people leave comments. Comments mean more views.
I'm
So
sure. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
to this day, I'll mention things wrong on purpose.
that's smart. I think I've never heard somebody mention the name Arcata correctly first time. I definitely was not calling it Arcata. It doesn't look like it's called it. I always thought it was I always called it Arcata. I thought it was
Oh yeah,
Arcata.
yeah. That's I think I called it something like that, Arcata or Kata.
A
I
lot of people
forget.
say Arcata, but
Yeah,
it's Arcata.
and they'll correct you in a heartbeat. See, but the thing, in my opinion, when you do that to people, they're enjoying that. They love it when you make a mistake, so they can point it out. So people are enjoying your videos. They're enjoying it too in their own little warped way. So, I want to make everyone happy with my videos, and I want people to enjoy what I'm saying, and I want people to correct me because that's their win for the day. There are people out there that is their win. That's like
Yeah.
some guy scoring a touchdown. They get to
Yeah.
find something that they pointed out, and then they like to throw in, do better research. It's like, you dude. Save that
Yeah.
conversation for my dad,
Oh
not
my
you. Do
yeah.
better research. I had a guy the other day till I wrote down, I was doing, my graphics for the different areas, and I was talking about Portland. And I put Portlandia, Oregon, because the show, just
Yeah.
a minor joke. And I get
Mhm.
this guy, there's no IA at the end of Portland, Try and do better research before you make these videos. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I had to give it back. Are you an idiot? I'm like, what's the deal?
Sometimes you just kind of like it's so hard to restrain yourself sometimes with the comments you get, but
You know what I've learned about that? If someone says something stupid to me and I give them some back, they're like all butthurt. And it's like they're all, you can't even take creative criticism. And they start that. And this one girl said that to me, Michelle, you can't even take creative criticism. And I'm all, you don't start off with, you should be embarrassed by this video if you're giving creative criticism. Okay.
yeah.
You're just mad I gave you something back and you weren't expecting it,
Mhm.
So that's my favorite thing to do, especially when they get all offended I said anything. I'm all, what, you're not used to someone giving you a little trolling back? What's going
Yeah,
on here?
exactly. I know.
They like that unopposed trolling. They don't
Mhm.
start looking around the room trying to leave as soon as you give them a little back.
Yeah, I know.
Damn
That's how it
kids.
goes.
Damn kids and their social medias.
Yeah, I had a video that I did. I think it had to be during the pandemic, and back then I didn't know what you could say and not say on YouTube in order to not get demonetized because it was new for me. So instead of saying the word pandemic, I would say stuff like panini or pizzeria, and the amount of people I have correcting me saying, "Did she really just call it a panini, little girl? Boy, your generation is so." And I was,
Little girl.
obvious joke. Like obviously, I know a pandemic is not called a panini, but it just makes them feel good. It makes them feel, self-righteous that they got to
Yeah,
correct some random person on the internet.
that's their win. Their win. Or my favorite is they tell you, because of this, you have no credibility. I'm all, well, lucky for me, I'm not worried about my credibility with some rando from the internet. It's like I'm good with that. I used to get if you were older, you'd understand. Before I started showing my face, everyone apparently thought I was 20, and I started
Nice.
showing my face, and It's like, oh, if you were older, you'd understand this. And I'm all, well, I'm 50. What the fuck are you talking? There's the F word. But I'm all, what are you talking about? And they're all, oh, I didn't realize that. I've had people go, there's no way you traveled that much. I've been traveling for years. And they're all, you're probably under 30. Actually, I'm 20 years more than that, but let's keep going. And then they're all, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, dude, travel. I think you're traveling, God, way more than me nowadays. I used to travel a lot now. It's slowed down. We got to pick it back up. That's it's a little better for you. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing, but a lot of us infotainment YouTubers, we're getting copied, straight out ripped off nowadays.
I've seen,
yeah,
I've seen it.
It's pretty bad. I was just talking to the Geography King today, and we were talking about that, and all of us are getting ripped off, and it's pretty sad. It's like there's one guy. I've realized that as soon as I make a video, 3 days later, he makes the same video. And then the thumbnail's kind of close, It's like one I did the rudest countries. And in the video, I had this redhead woman like out her window, like, hey, like this, right? Mm-hmm. He did the same thing. He found another redhead woman in a car with almost the same gesture. And I'm like, and he just used a different thing. Same title, same everything. All the cities that I listed are in the same order. It's just sad these days. So
when you see stuff like that, do you contact them or do you say anything or do you just?
There's nothing to do it. I've got my own way of work. I've been just putting up with it for the long time, but like there's 2 or 3 of them that if I put up a good video and if it looks good, they'll copy it. And then during the times on some of my other videos, they'll come up with other ones. Some of them have been good ideas. So now I'm going to make their videos and see how they like it. There's something that happens when someone does that to you. So let's say I make a video about the worst cities on the coast, right? So let's say it's getting like 5,000 views an hour. 2 days later, someone else does that. They get moved ahead of me because it's the same subject, same keywords. They just have a newer video. So now all of a sudden my videos get dropped, right? So I'm just, I've got 3-4 people that work for me. I can turn out a video in an afternoon. So next time I see one of their good videos, I'm going to do it to them and I'm going to wait for them to contact me. And I'm all, hey, dude, how's it feel? It's like, you, dude. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a mercenary when it comes to shit like that. So I try not to be too passive when people have irritated me. I'm not going to go over to anyone's house and start kicking in doors or anything like that. But I will do the same crappy crap to them that they did to me. So that's just how it is.
Do you watch? Do you know like YouTuber drama? Like, do you know who Sniper Wolf is?
Oh yeah, she's.
Like,
I've been watching that.
Like, yeah, with her like just basically copying all these other people and just
Aussie or Azzyland.
Huh?
Azzyland's the girl's name, or something like that.
I don't know.
So I got a little deep into that a couple weeks ago. There's a girl named Azzyland or Aussie or whatever, and she has a way of speaking, and she was doing it way before Sniper Wolf. And then if you listen to Sniper Wolf, she's got the same type of thing. I don't know what's going on here. She does the same voice thing, oh wow, like her reactions, and so she was on someone else's show, that Azzyland girl, and she's all, yeah, it's just bullshit, it sucks, nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
But now. So yeah, wow. that's more drama. This chick goes deep with the drama.
Yeah.
So yeah,
sometimes it's fun to fall into that, but also that I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Just like so invested.
It's like celebrity gossip. It's like celebrity gossip for YouTubers. If I go in the other room right now and talk to my wife, she can tell me exactly what celebrities are dating who. She's all into that stuff, but I don't want to hear it. Then I catch myself following along on the YouTube drama, and I'm like, I'm turning into that. But yeah, so all right, let's get back to what we were talking about. So this year, where do you plan on going? Now, we're here in the winter now. What's your plan once your van's going? Where are you heading? Not anything specific. I'm not gonna let anyone stalk you.
Yeah, I will be at this latitude. Probably west again. I was just I went to the East Coast for the first time. Well, Florida. I don't know. Some people consider that East. Some people don't consider that the East Coast. But I went to Florida, and then I was coming back. And actually, the reason why I'm at my parents' house is because I don't know if you saw. I posted on Instagram, not thinking anything of it, but while I was in the West Texas desert, I got a notification on my phone that said, um, I'm not good with technology, like I mentioned earlier, but it says something along the lines of like, an air tag is now tracking your location. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, like whatever. I don't have an air tag, so that can't be mine. And then I got literally at least 100 messages saying, check yourself in your car right now. Somebody is tracking you. Someone put an air tag on you. And I was like, what the hell? So I was like, well, I'm already in Texas and I have to pick up a package for a sponsorship at my parents' house anyway. So I was like, I'll just go home because I'm not going to stay at a secluded place in the middle of the desert if somebody is tracking me. So that is one of the, just like something that comes with that kind of life, the nomad life, I guess,
Yeah.
especially when I'm a public figure. Is like sometimes people will stalk me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to me. It seems like this doesn't happen to anybody else. I don't know what's going on, but
What happens to me, I got this whole group of college cheerleaders. They won't leave me alone. It's horrible. It's embarrassing.
Oh.
No, I'm totally kidding.
Yeah.
That's why I shave my head. It keeps them off my tail.
Sure.
You got to find out. I wonder, is there a machine that like a device you could find out if something's tracking you, or you can find it in your car?
So I of course searched my car and myself, and I didn't find anything. People were saying that, like, I posted on Instagram just to not worry people. I searched myself in my car, I didn't find anything, and people were like, you might not find it, but it could still be on you. I was like, well, then how the fuck am I supposed to know if it's on me if I'm not gonna find it,
Yeah.
People are like, go to the police station. I don't think the police are gonna be able to find it if I can't, but I don't know. That's just one of those things, like, let go and let God, because I have no idea. I'm home though, so
Yeah. Give me one
I
second.
have
I'm
two
looking at this.
military parents that will handle anyone that comes over here.
You know what? I'm gonna look into this because it looks like there's a lot of devices that help them listen to you through the AirTag.
Oh,
Locate
weird.
an AirTag or other. Find my iPhone. There's got to be a device that shows you how to do this, because that's pretty scary. I wouldn't be messing around with that. You never know what kind of weirdos are out there.
I guess, yeah. I mean, on one hand, I try to be cautious about stuff like that, but on the other hand, like, I can't let it stop me from living my life.
Definitely
So
not. Just make
I
sure you're
feel
not out.
like yeah, there's some things that are in my circle of control, like checking myself and checking my vehicle, but other than that, there's not much I can do, especially if I'm traveling. So it's like I did all I could. Now, just
Yeah, that's pretty scary though. But so you're gonna head out west next, huh?
yes, yeah. I tried to go east, but it's just not as fun. It's really crowded and not as much open space. And plus, I'm really familiar with the West, so it's like, I don't know. It's always nice to go back to familiar places. I wanted to push myself and go outside my comfort zone, but I did, and I didn't really like it. So at least I tried it. Now I'm going back to the desert, and
Where
yeah,
you're more comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Even though that's
get.
where I had my biggest stalker, but
Yeah, that was weird. What was up with that? So that whole thing with the guy coming that someone's looking at you that went viral without you getting the viral credit for it.
Yeah.
Do you think it was the old man that came and told you that was actually the stalkers? That was the whole scenario with that, or?
I think that I mean, now it's been over a year, so I can't remember exactly what's happened, and I've never watched that video ever again after I posted it. But if I can remember, I'm pretty sure there was only one person. Like, it was just that guy. He came to talk to me, and after he left, I think he wanted to keep talking to me and possibly, I don't know, assault me in some way or something. So he came back. A lot of people speculated that he was drunk. I didn't really notice in person, but a lot of people commented, and even people in person were like, he sounded drunk, so maybe he just had some liquid courage and wanted to go say something else to me. But
he needed an excuse to look like a hero, and
yeah,
I think that's what it was too. That's kind of the vibe I got. It's
it's
this
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just weird.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
so you have a guy
Uh-huh.
on the mountain up there that is watching you with binoculars.
Okay, well, that's unnerving. Well, I guess I won't be staying.
Well, it's not that you can't stay. Just, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
The other side of the mountain is safer.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That was weird,
Yeah.
but that was the only weird one you've had so far, right?
No, that's just the one weird one that I caught on film. Definitely not the only weird experience I've had doing this, but that was, I think, the most dramatic. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, probably the most. Actually, I have an incident that happened that was more dramatic, but I wasn't even doing YouTube at the time. I was just living in my car,
Mhm.
working on a farm in or it's actually southern Oregon, and it was like way worse. But one day,
Really?
maybe I'll tell a story. Maybe one day I won't.
Way worse, huh? Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah, I'm sure you run into all kinds of weird stuff out there like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's unfortunate that's part of it, part of this lifestyle. And maybe it's not part of it for everyone. Like maybe if you're not a young woman, you don't get stuff like that happening. I'm not sure if you would be stalked to the extent that I get, kind of watched or harassed. Maybe you would. You're a pretty interesting person, but
interesting. Doesn't get people to stalk you.
I guess.
Yeah, that's you ever hear about Andy Dix had a stalker one time? She was always out in front of his house.
No.
Oh, okay. So Andy Dick had this girl that tried to get into his house a couple times and all this, and she was always parked in front of her house. So one night he came home and he's all, "That's it, come on in." And so they had an experience together. She quit stalking him. He's all, "It was that bad that I'm no longer stalking." He's no longer stalk worthy, but he actually did the nasty with his stalker.
Wow.
Yeah, and so right after that, he never heard from her again.
Well, that's
Yeah.
probably not the method that I will implement.
No,
But
yeah, no, I'm not saying that. But it's like he turned it into a joke. He's all, "Was it that bad that she never?"
Yeah.
She's all, "Oh, I thought he was amazing. I changed my mind."
Oh man. I've heard stuff like that. I heard that Robert Pattinson had a stalker that just wouldn't leave him alone, and so he like invited her to dinner or something, and he just complained nonstop, and then she just stopped.
That was enough.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I read on the
Yeah,
internet.
that's pretty rough. Never had. No, actually, I did have a stalker. It was an ex-girlfriend. She wouldn't leave me. I was dating my wife, and she wouldn't leave us alone. She actually found me at a bar one night with some friends and my wife, and then when we left the parking lot, I told the guy, "I'm all, hey, the chick behind me is a stalker. Hold the gate so we can get out of here." And I leave, and I'm off. That's problem solved. I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and I see the fence just bust open. She just drove through it.
Oh
I was
my
like,
god,
"Ooh, yeah, that was
that's
pretty rough."
that's
But
weird.
yeah, weird chick. So you're gonna head west, and then it's what are you gonna spend the summer in the west, or what do you? I guess, are you like a snowbird? Do you go certain places for a few months, and then when it starts getting warmer, you head other places? That's what it is.
Yeah, I think I am someone who follows the weather for sure because I don't like cold weather. So there are a lot of van lifers who will like van life in the snow, and those videos get so many views, and I understand why. Snow looks pretty,
Mm-hmm.
but actually being in it, to me, I don't like being in the snow. I don't like snow. So I try to just stay in places that are always sunny and they're always mild temperatures. So
Yeah.
yeah, in the winter in the desert, whether that be West Texas desert or New Mexico desert or Arizona desert, even California desert. And then for summertime, I'll probably go up to my favorite place, which is Pacific Northwest, which to me starts in Northern California.
Yeah.
Um, and then maybe go east from there. I hear that places like Minnesota are
You
cool.
should definitely go see Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Yeah.
No real need to go into Michigan if I were you, but definitely see Wisconsin and Minnesota. Go visit Madison, Wisconsin. It's an amazing town.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my
That's
gosh, I forgot I'm talking to the geography king. Wow.
I don't follow geography as much as I follow social geography.
Mm,
So yeah, or cultural geography, if you will.
even better.
But what's that?
That's cultural geography is even better than real geography.
Yeah, I think so. I find it more interesting. But yeah, definitely try those out. Do you watch any other van lifers?
I watch my friends. So I watch my friend Mateo, whose Winter is Blue, and I'm blanking on everybody else. There are also van lifers that I used to watch because van life was really fun for me to watch when I wasn't doing it. Now that I'm doing it, I have no reason to really watch other people unless I know them personally,
Hmm.
because I'm already doing it and I've
Yeah.
been doing it. Christian Schaefer. I watched Christian Schaefer.
I think I've watched that one too.
She's really good. She's beautiful cinematography.
Yeah.
And she comments on my videos, and I can't believe it's the same thing with you. Like, I can't believe these people that I watch for so long that are just so far ahead of me, like, comment on my videos and watch my videos. It's the strangest thing. I'll never get used to that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Not that I'm a big deal, but I've had people that are way above me comment. I'm like, holy crap, or a couple different celebrities have, well, semi celebrities have reached out and asked me questions about things. My favorite thing is when people from the news station will ask me questions, or I
Oh,
get like news reporters that have reached out to me. That one blows me away. I'm like, I'm just a YouTuber, dude, that knows a
yeah.
lot about the country. What are you talking to me about?
That's
But
so
yeah.
cool, though. That's awesome. I think a
Yeah.
news station has reached out to me like once or twice, and it was over the stalker video. So, like, okay,
Mm.
boring. About to private that video. Let's move on.
Oh, oh, the stalker one. That's very interesting. I got
Yeah.
tattoo work. I got tattoo work, so I got
Oh, you got a tattoo? Are you
another
doing
one.
it
I
for
got a
people
bandage on it right now, so that's I
under your
looked and I saw a
arm?
little what?
You got it under your arm?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm all
Interesting.
my back, everything.
What? You've
I
got to
hide it.
do a body reveal video one day.
Maybe when I was 20 or 30, I'd show body reveal. This isn't what it used to be.
Well, you've got a bunch of tattoos. Everybody loves tattoos.
Maybe someday. Yeah. I like got this whole arm's this thing of Thor. It's like this, like it
Wow.
looks like a shield of Thor. That's my oldest son's name.
Oh,
Got some military ones over here, and then that's my other son's name. And then
Roman.
I have honor tattooed across my back. That's my daughter's name.
Oh my gosh, how
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah. I thought it was fun, but yeah. So that's
Well, the people would love to see you one day if you want to do a big reveal.
just here you go. Look at this.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it didn't always look like this. This comedian I know, he comes to Portland, he sees a tattoo, and then he tells a joke. Now I know him. I didn't know this, but he tells the joke, and I'm all, I know that girl. The joke was he saw a girl with a horse tattooed on her cleavage right here, which I used to work for with her. And I'm watching him tell the joke. He goes, by the time she's 50, that's going to look like a giraffe, right? Which is a hysterical joke. But then I went to work and told her, I'm like, did you go see a comedy show not too long ago? She's like, I did. I'm like, did you talk to a comedian? And she's like, I did. I'm like, his name's Danny Viapondo, and he's telling jokes about you. And she's
Oh
like,
my
what?
god.
So she thought it was funny, but it was,
Oh, good. That's
yeah,
good.
she didn't get upset. It was
It's
actually,
good when people are good sports about
yeah.
jokes.
That girl ended up in Portland because she saw the pamphlet for Portland State University, and it was the
Mhm.
only one that showed people with tattoos. Everything
Oh,
else was like these, Sears catalog type pictures,
yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
there's like a bunch of kids sitting around, and some of them are sleeved. She's all, "There's my people." She moved to
That's so
Portland.
cool. I
Yeah,
love Portland. I think if I ever stopped van life, I would live in Portland. Out of all the
yeah,
cities in the U.S. that I've been to, I really like it. I think it has, I don't know how it got such a bad reputation with the media, especially when Seattle is so similar, but even in my personal experience going to both, it's bigger, so it's worse. It's
yeah.
amplified the homelessness and the crime and all of that. I don't know how Portland got stuck with all of the bad reputation stuff, but
Well, Portland was a lot better 10 years ago, and I think the decline has been so far from where they were 10, 12 years ago that the dramatic change is more dramatic than other places.
oh,
So, and
okay.
it happens so fast. I mean, we've always had our eccentric homeless here since I've lived here and even before. But then
Yeah.
it just got a reputation. This is where you be if that's your situation. And so they all started coming here. Then we passed a couple different laws about drugs, made it,
Hmm.
we got the more homeless with a worse element to it, I guess you could say. So they're homeless and they were drug addicts, and that created a lot more problems.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the downside is, and which I feel bad for these people, they need to, as much help as they can. But
Yeah.
the biggest problem is that we have too many advocacy groups that are fighting for their rights all the time, which they should. but they hold too much weight, so nothing can be
Yeah.
fixed. And just recently, in the last 6-7 months, they started forcing them not to camp on the sidewalk anymore, because
That's
that was
good.
chasing all the businesses out. So it's
And
looking
it's an
better.
accessibility issue for sure.
Yeah, so
Just
it's
because
looking
you-
better now, and hopefully in another 2-3 years it'll be a lot better. Who knows?
I think it's great. Every time I go there, I'm impressed with it. And I mean, you probably, I don't know how long ago you were in LA, but any major city like Los Angeles has a crazy homeless problem. All of my friends and I who went to school in LA, we all have a story about being like physically assaulted by a mentally ill homeless person in LA.
Yeah,
The rampant drug use there, lots of mental issues. Same thing with like the Bay Area in California. Just any major city has a really
yeah.
bad homelessness issue. So I just wonder why Portland got stuck with this because to me, as someone who has traveled all the major cities, especially on the West Coast, I didn't find it to be any worse than places like LA or
Well, the reputation comes from the news, in my opinion,
yeah,
and a lot of it has to do with political stuff. So Portland's a very, very liberal
for sure.
city. So
Yeah.
if they can highlight any negative going on here, which it is bad, I'm not saying it's not, but they
Yeah.
make it look a little worse. And then there's proof that liberal policies aren't working. That's what it used for. They did the same thing with Chicago. Chicago has the highest amount of murders, but if you look at the rate, because they have so many people, they're ranked like 25th in the nation. They're not that
Hmm.
bad. But Barack Obama was from Chicago. So during
Mm,
elections, they started pointing out how bad Chicago was. So Chicago is bad.
okay.
They're just not. I think Kansas City has a higher murder rate than Chicago. It's
And
weird.
New Orleans is really, really
Oh,
bad.
it's horrible. Baton Rouge is even
Recently.
worse. Where did I just see the other day? A new city came on the scene for the highest murder rate, and I forget what it was now. I got to do it, but it was a new one that hadn't been on there in like ever. So yeah, we'll see how that works. So you do watch some other van lifers. What other kind of videos do you watch besides obviously mine all the time, right?
Yeah, truly, yes.
Huh?
I watch a lot of your videos. And you put out so many that sometimes I'm like, save to watch later, save to watch later, save to watch later. Or I would just be watching yours. You're good on the consistency.
I try and be.
I'm
That's the key. Well, I get
for sure.
anxiety. I get anxiety because I see my stats drop when I've missed an
Yeah,
upload. And it's
for
like I
sure.
can't handle it. And I walk around the house like I want to cry sometimes. So I got to keep it consistent.
Man, I wish I had that. When I see mine lower because I missed, like I didn't post this Sunday. I mean, I had a circumstance. Somebody might have been stalking me, but I'm just like, oh well.
Yeah, that's
That's
you just
but
that's
but I try every Sunday, every week. But you're like multiple times a week, which
3
is
times a
amazing.
week and hopefully a live stream it once a week too. So
Whew.
yeah. Well, it's
You
easy.
talk about a team.
I got a researcher. I do research, then she goes over to make sure my research is correct. And then she just does some of her own videos. I record them. I give them to my oldest son who edits them. And then my youngest, he does all the graphics and stuff like that. And
Okay.
so I
Nice.
record it and I've moved on to the next one and they deal with it the next day. So
Yeah.
that's how we can turn out. If it was when it was just me, I was doing one, maybe I do one a week and then maybe an extra one every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and
I feel
but
like yeah,
that's the key, consistency. That's
for sure, 100%.
I don't care if you're raising turtles in on YouTube or goldfish. If you
Hmm.
consistently put up videos, you will find an audience.
I have noticed that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
people. There are people who the quality of their videos is just not very good. The physical, like the camera quality is not good. The content is not good, but they will upload multiple times a week and they have a huge following. I'm like, oh my gosh, it truly is just consistency.
Yeah. And so it's consistency and they start to like you. Okay. So
Hmm.
if you're using your personality, you're using your voice, whatever, they're going to start to like you. Um, you get people that use the AI voices and they'll never have a good following
Hmm.
because they're not building a brand. They can be consistent and
Right.
they'll get some traction that way, but then when they they're not building a community. And so
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
eventually die off. And that's the nature of it. Fine for
Yeah,
me.
but if you're a real person, I mean, especially because the internet is used as a means of escapism for so many people, that if you're consistently posting and it's really you, people can stop their life a little bit and just be invested in your life. And the more that you post, the more that they can just shut off from their life and watch your life instead.
Oh yeah.
And then, yeah, you've got this huge following of people who are just watching you and invested in you and can't wait for the next couple.
Especially if they're doing something you're not doing. I used to watch Casey Neistat all the time. I've never lived in New York City. Been there a couple times, never lived there.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed by that all the time. And I got to tell you, when he moved to California, I was a little less interested in him. And then it's like the van life. You live in the van life. That's totally interesting. So people will watch that. I got into cruise videos for a while there because I hadn't really gone on any cruises, and I was just amazed by it. And I watched all these different cruisers. When I started doing it, I got a little less interested. Now I've tamed it down to like 2 that I watch. I used to watch like 10 of them on a daily basis. It was weird. But yeah. So it's they build that bond. They start to like what you're doing, and they're gaining interest from you by doing it. So yeah, that's how you got to do it.
Yeah. I think that's my New Year's resolution, to consistently post every single Sunday, no matter what.
Every single Sunday.
The filming is not the hard part. The sitting down and editing it all is the part that's like, oh.
And you're editing on an iPad?
I'm editing on my phone, actually. I used to do my iPad, and then I was like, I can do the same thing on my phone. So I just started using.
What program do you use?
It's called LumaFusion.
Oh, LumaFusion on phone. Okay. Yeah, I when I'm trying to do something in a hurry and it's easier and it's a lot funner, I guess funner is funner word. I use Filmora.
Oh yeah, I like Filmora.
Filmora is easy to use. CapCut's pretty easy to use too. I think Filmora's got a little bit more, but it's easier. I used to use Premiere Pro, and it was just a pain. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, anything with Final Cut Pro or the Adobe, I'm like, that's cool, but for the level I'm at right now, I don't really need it. And I feel like LumaFusion, the one that I use, is a happy medium between like iMovie and Final Cut Pro, because the software I use is a professional editing software, but it's I can do it on my phone. So
yeah,
I don't know why holding my phone feels so much better to me than like sitting down and uploading all my files to a computer and doing it that way. I don't know what it is. But
you could do it. You could do it while leaning on a pillow with one thumb. That's what it is.
Exactly.
With the iPad, if you try and lay down with it, it's hits you in the head a lot. That's what I've learned. So yeah, but LumaFusion works for you, huh? I have that on my iPad. I've barely used it. I've tried it a couple times, but I just keep going back to Filmora.
Yeah, Filmora is cool. It's definitely simple. I think I got a Filmora sponsorship once, and I checked it out, and it's really simple interface. It's cool, but to me, it just didn't have as much as I wanted to do, because I do have some film school background, and I just wanted to do a little bit more advanced editing.
Yeah.
But if you want to just do something quick and easy and make it look nice, Filmora is great.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing daily vlogging or anything like that. I'm doing it's almost like I'm setting up a magazine. It's like that's what it's like. But all right, well, I'm glad you did this podcast with me today.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm so glad I did too. I was a little bit nervous not being in my van. I was like, no, if I'm a van lifer, I need to be in the van. But my van is possibly bugged by a stalker, so sorry, everyone.
Yeah, totally understand. We got to do it again when you're in your van sometime. Sure. We'll figure something out when you have a good connection. I know being a van lifer, that's kind of sketchy at best. But yeah, that'd be great. We can do it. You should look into getting they have those. Oh, you actually have one. If you got the DJI 3, right. There it is. Yeah.
But I have been using this the whole time. That would have been fun. But
yeah, you can put it right there. It's been set. But yeah. Okay. Well, you enjoy that camera. Thanks for being on here, and we will talk to you again. Okay.
Yes, sounds good. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.